Does that confidence come from just your belief in how you've been successful at Sporting?
It's not just that, but I have one idea.
I hope there's nothing wrong with my memory.
We are going to succeed.
But I don't think you're going to be successful.
It's simple. It's to win the Premier League.
Manchester United, a club drowning in wasted billions, failed transfers, and shattered hopes. But now, a new architect has arrived. Rúben Amorim, a man with a plan so familiar, it feels like history repeating itself, because what he's doing at Old Trafford is exactly what he did in Lisbon. The copy-paste plan has begun. Manchester United, once the giants of English football, a club that stood for dominance, fear, and glory. But the empire has crumbled since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. In 2013, United have spent over £1 billion in the transfer market. And yet, what has it delivered? Endless false dawns, broken dreams, and an identity that has been lost in the noise of big money signings.
Money taken away from them, and they've took £200 million out. Now, I know they're your business partners, I know you can't criticise them, I know where you're at with this.
We remember the headlines. Harry Maguire for £80 million, Jadon Sancho for £73 million, Antony for £86 million. Money spent, hope rising, only for reality to crush expectations. Season after season, the pattern repeats. A new manager arrives with promises of change. A few marquee transfers follow, but within months, the cracks appear again. Dressing room leaks, tactical confusion, and a squad too bloated, too disjointed to truly compete. Subscribe to Witnessed, the copy-paste plan.
Around in the country, the best team in the country, and we're debt-free.
Well, we're going to be back there. We will get back there.
No, if they've not overseen the club in the last 10 years to a point whereby it's running out of cash, that's negligence. You know that better than anybody.
Well, I'm not looking backwards, I'm trying to look forwards.
Old Trafford once, the theatre of dreams, became a stage for frustration. Fans booing, banners calling for change, a broken connection between the club and its people. This is the Manchester United that Rúben Amorim inherited. A club on its knees, desperate not just for trophies, but for a rebirth. In 2020, a young coach walked into chaos. Rúben Amorim, a man with just a few months of experience in management. A gamble for Sporting Lisbon. Sporting, at the time, were broken. Their rivals Benfica and Porto dominated Portuguese football. The club hadn't won the league in 19 years. Their academy was producing talent, but the squad lacked identity. Amorim's arrival was mocked by some critics, said he was too inexperienced. Fans were unsure if he had the authority to command the dressing room. But Amorim did not care. He walked in with one thing, a clear plan. He cut the noise, he ignored the egos, and he introduced a tactical system built on discipline, intensity, and clarity. Amorim wasn't interested in stars, he wanted soldiers. A team that worked for each other. Within months, something was changing. The football was sharper. The atmosphere was different. The players, young, hungry, fearless, began to believe, and by his second season, Sporting Lisbon were champions of Portugal. Amorim had taken a broken club and rebuilt it into a winning machine. That story is why Manchester United turned to him. Because Amorim has done this before, and he is here to do it again.
To fight our way through the changes that are necessary to get Manchester United back to where it should be.
So how did Amorim do it at Sporting? Was the magic formula? The blueprint was simple, but ruthless. First, he cleared the deadwood.
I want people to understand who Amorim is. I want people to listen to what I'm going to say now, because I think it's important that, but the club stuck with him. And what they allowed him in the summer of that, after that first season, was to have an absolute colour of all the players that he didn't want. There were players in there that he thought weren't good enough. Do you know how many players that he got rid of that window?
How many?
17 players. He said, you are not a Rúben Amorim player. Get out of my club. Clean the decks, clear the decks, right? He was allowed to do that, and that's my point again. He was allowed to get rid of the dead wood, the rubbish, the ones that he didn't think were good enough or could play his formation.
Players who were too expensive, too comfortable, or no longer fit the system were gone. Sporting had no time for names, only for commitment. Second, he trusted the academy. Young players like Nuno Mendes, Gonçalo Inácio and Matheus Nunes were given real responsibility. They weren't backups. They were starters. Third, he recruited smart. Instead of chasing the most expensive names, Sporting signed undervalued players who fit Amorim's philosophy. Pedro Gonçalves, once considered a failed prospect, became the league's top scorer. Pedro Porro, signed cheaply from Manchester City's reserves, became one of Europe's best wingbacks. Amorim built not around individuals, but around a system. A 3-4-3 formation that pressed hard, defended together, and attacked with speed. Everyone knew their role. Everyone bought into the vision. By his second season, Sporting Lisbon weren't just winning games. They were dominating. And the same exact formula is what Amorim is now copy-pasting into Manchester United. And now, the copy-paste plan begins at Old Trafford. United's squad is bloated. Players on huge contracts deliver little. The first step, ruthlessness. Just like at Sporting, Amorim is prepared to cut Rashford, Andre Onana, Anthony, Alejandro Garnacho, Jadon Sancho, Rasmus Højlund, and released Victor Lindelof and Christian Eriksen. Names that once carried weight could be moved on.
It's not just that, it's your proud as a coach. It doesn't matter the context. You are in Manchester United and you lose 9 games in Premier League. As a player, you know that former player.
It's not about the name. It's not about the price tag. Amorim's only question is, do you serve the system? If the answer is no, you're out. Just like Sporting. The second step is youth. Amorim has already signaled his trust in players like Kabi Manu, Dorgu, Diego Leon, Brian Bumo, Mateus Cunha, Benjamin Sesko, and San Lamens. They are not future prospects. They are the present, the backbone of his rebuild. Amorim doesn't wait years to develop talent. He throws them into the fire because only in real battles do players become leaders. This is the copy-paste plan in action. And the third step, transfers. At Sporting, Amorim didn't demand the world's biggest names. He demanded the right players. Pedro Gonçalves was signed from a mid-table club and became a superstar. Pedro Porro, a forgotten man at Manchester City, became a revelation at wingback. At United, the targets reflect the same thinking. Amorim wants system players, not headlines. Defenders like Gonçalo Inácio or Ousmane Diamondi fit his style. Mobile, composed, aggressive. Midfielders in the Pedro Gonçalves mold, dynamic, creative, goal-scoring, could arrive. These are not fantasy transfers. They are players chosen because they fit, because they serve the blueprint. Last step, building identity before stardom. This is the most crucial part of Amorim's plan. At Sporting, he didn't build a team around stars. He built stars by building the team. At United, for too long, the club has chased the reverse, buying names first, trying to fit them later. Amorim is flipping the script. The system comes first. The players adapt to it. If history repeats itself, Old Trafford will not just see new players, it will see a new identity. A Manchester United that looks less like a collection of individuals, and more like a team again. The plan is clear. Trim the fat, invest in youth, buy clever. And, if history repeats itself, this transfer window could be the turning point for Manchester United. Just like it was for Sporting in 2021. So when we talk about the copy-paste plan, it isn't just a headline, it's a method. Ruthless cuts, trust in youth, smart transfers, identity before stardom. Exactly what brought Sporting Lisbon back to glory is now being written at Old Trafford. The question is, will the plan succeed in the Premier League under the blinding lights and relentless pressure? Or will it break under the weight of Manchester United's past failures?
We are going to suffer for a long period and we will try to win games. This will take time,
Manchester United's inconsistencies continue, leaving those in red with plenty to ponder.
But here's the truth. The copy-paste plan is not guaranteed. The Premier League is not the Portuguese league. The pressure at Old Trafford is far greater. The media is ruthless. The fans are impatient, and the money is bigger. The ego's louder. The mistakes more costly. If Amorim succeeds, Manchester United could finally rediscover its identity. A team built not on overpriced stars, but on unity. A squad that reflects the club's traditions of youth, discipline, and ambition. But if he fails, the risk is enormous. Another rebuild, another collapse, another false dawn. And yet, for the first time in years, there is belief. Amorim has a plan. A plan that worked once before. A plan he is now copy-pasting into one of the biggest clubs on earth. So the question remains, can Sporting Lisbon 2.0 succeed under the blinding lights of Old Trafford? Or will history repeat itself in failure? For Manchester United, the answer could define an era for Rúben Amorim. This is his chance to turn the theatre of dreams into reality.